how does one begin to aura max? How do we begin to confidence max ourselves? What are some of the tools that you've learned to just be, for want of a better term, unapologetically you, and encourage other people to do that as well?
That's so wild that you're asking me this. I was thinking on my drive here, wow, the most magnetic aura is someone who's at peace with themselves.
Yeah.
Because the person who is at peace with themselves is not trying to gain your validation or your approval, because they already have given themselves validation and approval. And it's a very deep level. There are some people who walk around and they're like, I don't care what anyone thinks.
Yeah, right.
And it's
Try
like,
hard.
tell me you care without telling me you care. But then there's others who are like at peace. They give off such an unfuckwithable thing. You can't even judge them because they've accepted themselves on such a deep level. You can't even judge them.
Yep.
Because your judgment just like melts off. They don't care. They don't. And they don't have to tell you that they don't care. So I think when someone is at peace with themselves, then it's really them that you're feeling. It's really them. There's nothing more beautiful and there's nothing more fascinating than someone who's really, really them. And with that is a relaxed aura. You know, it's a relaxation into oneself. It's also very, very magnetic. So I often tell my clients, like if they start one-on-one with me and we're doing like a brand upgrade or we're doing a launch or something, the first thing I tell them is, okay, the priority is to get you to chill the fuck out. Because the more you can chill the fuck out and relax into your natural essence, the more things will naturally be magnetized to you, because what you're asking for is a match. You know, I want to be accepted for who I really am. I want to really shine myself. I want to really be myself on social media and express myself. Well, first relax instead of trying to output and express. Like first accept yourself, you know, and then from there we can actually start to give and grow. Aura, like on a more psychological level, there's a lot of interesting parallels with these archetypes and this mythological creature thing that we all have, where you very much embody like this philosopher warrior, you know, and there's a bit of jester that I'm now getting acquainted with as well, hanging out with you in person. I'm like, oh wow, philosopher, warrior, jester. There's like an interesting combination that when you're totally relaxed and just being you, when nobody else is watching, you're probably one of the most interesting people to observe in the world, because that is such a unique flavor and combo. And so when you start to study archetypes, and I've mainly learned this from Carl Jung's work, and this applies to brands and everything, and you start to create like, oh wow, what is my mythological journey? Like if my story was a mythological process, what creature am I in that story? And what role am I playing to attain something worthwhile of my quest? And you start to get to know the fusion of different archetypal energies that you embody and that you express, and that eventually you give permission to other people to embody within themselves.
That's right.
So anyone who has a warrior, philosopher archetype within them will deeply resonate with you. But someone who is on the opposite end of the spectrum, for example, would just ignore you and basically not even know that you exist, because you wouldn't be interesting to them. You wouldn't resonate. And so studying archetypes is another way to aura max. And I'll leave it at that for now. But that's something I'm deeply, deeply studying and fascinated with as it relates to brands and personal brands.
Yeah, it's so on point. And I think that is exactly why, if anybody has ever just felt an instant kinship and magnetism to a person, that is the process that is playing out in real time. It's this like, there's something in the ether or this psyche that is just locking, and like, these are my people.
Yes.
And it's okay. Like
it's the unconscious psyche too. It's very unconscious. Those archetypes are symbols.
Yeah.
They're not contained by culture, really. They're symbols. So
very ancient and very wise. So try to talk to those parts of yourself. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps us spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.